I get a phone call to fight for the world title. I was terrified. I was never coming back to California again. What do I do? And they say to me, you're gonna fight the most dangerous woman in the world. The most dangerous woman in the world? She must be tough. So I had to go to my mom. So they want me to fight the most dangerous woman in the world. My mom said, how the hell can she be the most dangerous woman in the world when I am? You go out there and tell her I said that you're the one that her mama warned her about. And she gave me a hug, saying to me, you are a star, and your job is to let the world know that you're a star. Press conference time come. Here comes the most dangerous woman around. She was looking fly. So she comes up to me, she says, I looked on the map and I couldn't find Chester. And then everybody started laughing. They was flipping. I just stepped forward to her. I said, you know what? Not only will you find Chester on the map at night, but I want you to know that I'm the one your mama warned you about. Here I am walking out to the arena, and I'm just keeping my eyes on the ring. I just kept my eyes on the ring. This one voice say, that's the black girl who came here to get knocked out. And I said, tonight, we are going to shock the world. First round, bam, bam, bam. I gave a little something, let her know, hey, look, not tonight. Second round, she busted me up. Third round, we going at bam, bam, bam. And I'll never forget this as long as I live. My legs was getting tired. And I saw myself fall. So I had to reach within me, ask for help. Father, my legs are getting tired, help me. When I said that, boom! I saw, bam! She spit again. Bam! Just like that, and it was over.
The second the bell rang, a picture was taken, freezing forever in time her victory.
The referee of the event, he said, when Muhammad Ali knocked out Sonny Liston, that's the magnitude of this picture. He said, when I raised your hand, I have never heard a roar that powerful before in my life.
But what hit Freida when she saw it was the clock on the wall. That's when she realized she had done something really special.
Looked up, 8/16, my mama's birthday. I had no clue how she was showing me how to use my powers. Because that's what a lot of us tend to forget, that we carry certain powers. My mom used to say to me, you got it in you, just don't know it. Somebody gonna have to wake it up. This is what this life is all about. Winning. Leaving this place with our hands raised. Because we all have a race to win. Because life is full of challenges, and I won't let nothing stop me now. I will be out there plunging hard and how. A superstar I intend to be, Freida the Cheetah Gibbs is what the world shall call me. Cause world, ain't no stopping me now. I have many plans and how. There are too many forks in the roads and problems I must bear, but with the will to make it, my strength can't be compared. It is like I once said before, with a smile on my face. Ain't no stopping me now, world, cause I intend to win my race.
What would you teach fathers to basically help them talk with their kids?
First thing you do is you listen. You listen to how they feel and make sure they know that you care. How are you doing? How are you feeling? What's going on at school? Have you ever felt sad? Have you ever felt mad? Have you ever felt anxious? And you understand that how they feel is how they feel. You can't fix how they feel. And this is what we as dads do. We fix stuff. How many times has your wife said to you, I don't want you to fix my problem, I just want you to listen to me? That's hard for dads to do because we want to protect our kids. When we go into overprotection mode, when we protect them every time they fall, so they can't fall, then what do they believe when they become 14, 15, 16, 17? They believe there's nothing wrong that's ever going to happen. We create kids that do not have any resilience in their lives. I want to do a little exercise with you. Close your eyes for a second. I want you to think back to when you were 12, 13 years of age. And I want you to put up your hands if you were ever bullied. Put up your hands if you ever felt like you weren't happy with your life. If you ever felt like you weren't as cool as the other kids. Leave your hands up for a second and open your eyes. All right, now put your hands down. Put up your hands if you ever thought that you would go ahead and share those deep, dark, painful moments with your kids. Yeah, I didn't, because I was like you. But I wish someone took the time to talk to me and tell me I might need to change. Had I been more vulnerable with my own kids, to share with them, like, yeah, you know what, I was bullied, and I was bullied. I didn't think I had a lot of friends. I didn't have a lot of friends. I never shared any of that with my kids.
If you could say one thing to Ryan, what would it be?
If I could say one thing to Ryan, I'd say I'm sorry. I'd say I'm sorry I didn't see it. Sorry I failed you as a dad. I'm sorry. I'm a lot more open now with my kids. And you know what? I have a lot deeper conversations with my kids now than I ever had. All right, so what do we do now? Everything's only going to change if we change. The world's only going to change if we decide as parents that we're going to make it change. And we're going to make it change if we all decide to be that person that our kids want to come talk to, that our kids feel safe with. If we tell our stories and we start to have real emotional connections with our children, that's when the world starts changing. You can make a difference with your own family. I'm making a difference with the family I have left. I would love it if you all told your story.
I had an experience with the Klan. They came to my house when I was little. It was real scary. They came in the middle of the night on horseback, burning cross on the sidewalk, beating on the door, all belligerent. Come on out, you black sons of bitches! See, me and my brother, we were like horrified. We were just hiding in the closet, peeking out. But my mother, this is a strong woman, my mother, she went right to the door and opened it and gave them candy. From a young age, I noticed people were treating me different. These kids were just so mean and evil, but I didn't understand why they were treating me different.
My mother used to let me understand the context that I was being raised in, that I'm being raised in a hostile environment that I have to tame. By the time I was 14 years old, I was in nightclubs, mastering an adult world. It was terrifying. And my mother used to tell me this thing, I don't even know if you remember, but you said this to me more than once. You said, son, sometimes you have to be a lion so you can be the lamb you really are.
And I told my mother, you can ask her, I said, Mom, I'm going to make it all the way to the top of the socio-economic ladder. I'm a smart kid. My dad takes me outside and he's like, listen, everybody wants to make it and you might not make it. And I said to my dad, well, that depends on what making it is, Dad. And he started laughing. He said, if you keep that attitude, I think you should go. He said, but name your price in the beginning. If it ever gets more expensive than the price you name, get out of there.
I had a very complicated relationship with my dad. And it was really, there was a foundation of tough love with my father. And wasn't a big, I love you guy.
He would beat my ass when I was 5 years old. There's a testosterone thing that just happens between sons and their fathers.
And he wanted sympathy. And I said, if you want sympathy, go home to your mother and get it.
He said, you are throwing it all away. It is the worst mistake you will ever make. And I wish I had someone who could just pull me aside and say, hey, it'll be okay. It'll be okay. I wish I knew that. My dad got into professional wrestling in the 60s and the 70s.
250-pound Rocky Johnson.
where it was an all-white wrestling business, an all-white audience. And at that time in the late 60s, where racial tension and divide was still very strong and the wounds were still there. But he was able to change behavior, the audience's behavior. So this all-white audience who would never cheer a black man cheered him in these arenas. He would get up at usually 5:30 in the morning, and he would say, if I get up, you're gonna get up too. Yes. And I wouldn't work out, but he would just make sure that I was there and be with him, and that was our time that we could spend together. My dad always said too that regardless of what you do in life and where you go, respect is going to be given when it's earned, and you have to go out and earn it every single day.
Yes, right.
I wish I had one more shot, just to say goodbye, say I love you, say thank you.
Rocky the Soul Man Johnson passed away.
He passed away on January 15th, and we just buried him a few days ago. And I didn't get a chance to say the things that I wanted to say, or I wish he would have said the things to me, the important, critical things that anchor us that I didn't get from him. But then the birth of a child and what that does, and the lens perspective that just shifts, it's the greatest thing that I have ever experienced in my life. My daughters taught me how to be more caring and more sensitive and more selfless.
Yeah.
My dad loved me with the small capacity in which he was capable of. So the relationship that I had with my dad was a relationship that was appropriate at that time.
My dad was on his own when he was 13 years old, homeless and in the streets. It just gives me a real perspective now that I'm older and a dad myself on the tough love that I got. Mm-hmm. So because for years, and I know a lot of my friends, a lot of guys out there's a testosterone thing that just happens between sons and their fathers.
Very important to heal, to make sure that we come back to gratitude for what I was able to have with him.
What the soul man, my dad, was able to accomplish during his career was no small feat. I remember night after night watching him perform all over the country, being awed by his quickness, by his agility. He was an amazing performer.
And for Dwayne, for everything you've done for me. You made me proud. I continue our family wrestling legacy. But I will say this from the bottom of my heart, and I love him very much. He's my son, and he always will be. And I'm very proud of him.
As a single mother, I think we never knew how hard she was struggling.
Of course, there was disappointment. Damn, I thought Dad was coming to pick us up today. Or, damn, man, I ain't seen Dad in I don't know how long. He's not picking up the phone. He's not answering the calls.
It may have affected my mom, but my mom was such a strong woman that she said, look, regardless of what your father's doing and where he is, I have a job to do in raising you. She figured that if she can keep me off the streets, then I wouldn't turn out like him. She had more strength and fight in her than any woman that I've ever met. She's a beast. She's a different animal.
And she helped you out financially, didn't she?
Yes, she did. She supported me. I haven't paid my rent in like a month. I'm like, Mom, the rent, where's the rent at? She's like, are you reading your Bible? I said, Mom, come on. I don't have time to talk about that right now. Mom, I'm late. I need the rent money. Are you reading your Bible? Mom, no. When you read your Bible, then we'll talk about rent. A month goes by. I get eviction notice on my door. They're about to kick me out. I'm like, Mom, I go to her house. I got the eviction notice. She said, talk to me when you read your Bible. I can't talk to you right now. I just leave. I go home. I said, man, let me open this Bible up. Open the Bible up. 6 rent checks fall out. She put all my rent checks. From that 6 months throughout the rest of the year, they were all there. That's the love of your life. Mother's everything. Mom is everything.
Kevin getting his act together. He wants y'all to see how he dances. He's gonna act stupid for you for a while.
Ovarian cancer. Bad as a death sentence. Mom passed away. So my mom never came to any shows. Never, not one time.
I know what it's like not to be a good dad. I learned that because of the mistakes that my dad made.
I'm the same way with my kids. I know what that is. I know what it feels like. Because of that, I bust my ass getting back to see my kids. I don't know who my dad's dad was. I can tell you that he is the way he is for a reason. You gotta understand you're a product of your environment.
When you can kick an addiction, that's evolving. I have no grudge. I have no hate. I have no resentment. The older you get, the more you mature. And I can say right now I'm at the highest level of maturity I've ever been in my life. And I gotta say it's because of this man right here. You know, me and my dad's relationship now has developed into an amazing relationship.
I'm proud of what he's become. I'm glad God granted me the time to stay here to see him.
And I remember the days where my dad was there when I was younger, and those were some of the best days ever. With my kids, you know, I make sure I nurture it from the ground up. The way that the child lights up, I don't ever want to lose that light up. So I talk, I communicate. This is our little family. That last name Hart right here. If we don't try to make this last name mean something, then we have nothing that's going to live on. My last name means something now, but it's because we made it mean something. Nothing beats the relationship that you have with your kids.
Here I am, 14 years old, and entering my umpteenth foster home. I was a pro, a veteran at this whole sort of getting kicked out of one home, moved to the next. You meet these people who were like literally complete and total strangers 10 minutes ago who are now apparently your mom and dad. You know, kids don't take candy from strangers, just move in with them. So I'm sitting in the van, in the driveway of this next home, and that's when I see Rodney. He's standing up there on the front porch, and immediately I notice this is a large fella. He's 6'5", he's 350 pounds, and as a 14-year-old boy, I couldn't help but notice when he's turned to the side like that, he's shaped like a lowercase b. It's amusing now, but in the moment it was tactical. Maybe that's how I could get kicked out of this home. Maybe I could get under his skin about his weight. So I move in with him. I'm being obnoxious, I'm being ungrateful, I'm being just downright rude and mean, I'm setting things on fire, and 3 years later, I can't shake this guy. Rodney won't kick me out. So I step up my game. I go to the local bank in town, I open up a checking account. I put about $90 in there. Then I proceed to write $10,000 worth of checks. Obviously, checks bouncing one after the next after the next. One check that bounced was for my car insurance. I'm going down the road speeding, Stillwater, Oklahoma, 88 miles an hour. No car insurance, no driver's license. I get pulled over, handcuffed, thrown in the back of a cop car, and sent to jail. I call Rodney. Like, Rodney, I'm in Stillwater, I'm in jail, I'll tell you the whole thing when you get here. Can you please come bail me out tonight? He said, I will come bail you out, but not till tomorrow. Rodney frustratingly believed sometimes one of the most loving things you could do for a kid was allow them to sit in either the success of their wonderful choice or the stupidity of their foolish choice. Next morning, he comes, bails me out, exactly as promised. We have a long, very awkward car ride home. No one says anything. We get back to the house. He's like, we need to sit down and talk. And I knew this moment had finally come. So Rodney, his wife, sit me down to give me the talk I've had a dozen times. He looks in my eyes and says, son, you can keep causing problems. You can keep trying to mess up. You can keep pushing us away. You can keep trying to get us to kick you out of here, but you've got to get it through your thick head, son. We don't see you as a problem. We see you as an opportunity. And in that moment, all my skepticism came to the surface. And I thought, what a cheesy, stupid thing to say to a 17-year-old kid. But then I was overwhelmed with the reality that this guy actually meant it. He didn't see what was on the surface. The obnoxious kid, the ungrateful kid, the kid getting suspended, he saw what I could be. It was genuinely my turning point. Statistically, I am supposed to be dead, in jail, or homeless. But because of one caring adult. I'm not a statistic. Every kid is one caring adult away from being a success story. Every child who winds up doing well has had at least one stable and committed relationship with a supportive adult.
This is the greatest lesson for parents. No one really truly loves anyone. Everyone loves conditionally. Most love is conditioned, control-based, and fear-based. It's all about the self. So we live off prescriptive checklists and believe that if we don't follow that checklist, then we are somehow lesser than. And when we do this with a child who's come into this world with a throbbing spirit, desirous of kind of figuring it out, and we've kind of already ruined that chance by, here's the checklist. This is what I believe is success and failure and beauty and achievement. And now follow my way or you're already an outcast in my eyes. This immediate placement of a way to be obscures the ability for the child to develop their way. And you will see most parents do not accept their children for who it is they are, because they're not good enough or great enough or fabulous enough or not some accolade enough, not a degree enough. And then I show parents that the reason they can't do this, accept their child unequivocally for who it is they are, is because they haven't accepted themselves for who it is they are. The main battle is my child is not who I thought my child would be. Either not a superstar soccer player or a fantastic pianist or obedient, genuflecting little servant, Most parents who are raised on a diet of overachievement, on doing, have a very hard time understanding that their drive is not organic necessarily, but coming out of their inadequacy, their fear, their lack. They've just been indoctrinated to compensate for this, and they've never fully healed from their encountering their ordinariness. And so when I say that that's what's driving you, and then they get in touch with their little boy or little girl who truly felt ordinary and not good enough in that ordinariness, that's when the epiphany occurs. So then I make them see how it's now being projected onto the child. Don't do this to your child. Your child is okay and whole in their ordinariness. The child doesn't need more to feel more of themselves. They didn't come with this egoic desire to attach to PhDs or labels or judgments or wealth to feel themselves. Children feel themselves just by who it is they are. They have the simplest access to wholeness. We rob them of this. To truly love someone, it's truly loving the other for who it is they are, with no you in the picture. They don't have to love you back. They don't have to need you. They don't have to agree with you. They don't have to adhere to you. Now try loving your child for who it is they are.